Arteta is talking about how unfair it would have been to bench Kepa Arrizabalaga in the cup final. That it would have been unfair to Kepa and the entire team if he had benched him in that final for David Raya. Really? Really, Mikel Arteta? The same Mikel Arteta that benched Christian Nogard in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Now it is unfair to bench Kepa because Kepa has been keeping all the matches up until the final. Christian Nogard started the game against Port Vale. Christian Nogard started the game against Brighton. Christian Nogard started the game against Crystal Palace. He got to the semi-final. Arteta benched Christian Nogard and played his first choice defensive midfield pairing of Zubimendi and Rice. What happened to fairness, Arteta? What happened to fairness? Christian Nogard doesn't get enough minutes in the league. So, it is assumed that he gets to start in the cup games. He has started all the FA Cup games. He has started all the Carabao Cup games until the semi-final. Arteta benched him because he was going to play against Chelsea in the semi-final. And Chelsea before then had already drawn against Arsenal, though they were one man down in the league. So he felt he needed a stronger midfield. He benched Nogard. What happened to your fairness principle, Arteta? Why did you bench Nogard? If you think it will be unfair to bench Kepa in a cup final for a team that has not won any reasonable trophy in 6 years, and you felt it was unfair to bench Kepa. Arteta is really talking about fairness, Arteta. Bukayo Saka has been one of Arsenal's worst player in this month of March. Yet he started that cup final ahead of Madueke, and Arteta is telling me that it's unfair to bench Kepa. Is it fair to bench Noni Madueke and play Bukayo Saka, who played all through the game against Everton and had no impact? Yet you started him in the cup final. Yesterday we were complaining that we didn't have a number 10 because Eze was out and Odegaard is out. Ethan Nwaneri would have played in that position. But Arteta will not play the guy. That is why he's out on loan to Marseille. Arteta will not play him. And you're telling me about fairness? Have Arteta been rotating this squad fairly? Miles Lewis Kelly has lost his English national team place because of Arteta. Arteta is talking about fairness. Mikel Arteta is talking about fairness. Mikel Arteta, you're really talking about fairness. Miles Lewis Kelly cannot be called up to the English squad again. He doesn't even get playing time. And you're telling me about fairness. Have you been rotating this squad fairly? Bukayo Saka must play and die. He will kill the team. Arteta will allow him play. And you're telling me about fairness. Yesterday, Piero Nkapie got a yellow card. And it was obvious that Semenyo wanted to commit him to get a red card. The man managed to get to the first half, sub the man off and bring in Calafiori, who is arguably even better. Bringing Calafiori immediately the second half was to start. No way. Arteta allowed him till he cost us 2 goals from that wing. And that was when he subbed him. And you're telling me about fairness. Have you been rotating this squad fairly? If Timber was fit, he would start yesterday. Ben White will not start. Have you been rotating the squad fairly? And you're talking about fairness. I have said this several times. When a manager wants to destroy your career, wants to wicked you, he would have excuses. He would have things to say. Arteta has things to say that it would have been unfair to Kepa. Really? A cup final. You were trying to pacify Kepa at the expense of the entire team. The same thing that happened in Baku with Peter Cech and Ben Leno. And you're telling me about fairness, a man that has no atom of fairness in his dictionary. When he signed Christian Nogard, some of us said it was a downgrade. People said no, it wasn't a downgrade. Look at Thomas Partey and Christian Nogard. Today is Christian Nogard playing. And this man is telling me about fairness. This wicked man. Arteta, you were just being yourself. You were not being fair. If Arteta does not fancy you, you will not play. That is just the truth. You will not play. If you fall out of favor with Arteta, you will not play. It has nothing to do with fairness. It has nothing to do with doing what is best for the team. It has everything to do with satisfying his ego as the one in charge. Wickedness. And that is why Arsenal will not succeed as much as they should under this man. This Arteta is the devil and the weapon fashioned against Arsenal. Rubbish talk about fairness.